Now, here's the other part that I have to think about is in here, like, I just want to ignore this for right now and think about where does like cosine fish or cosine alpha, theta, whatever sign you want to write here or call it, where does that actually equal -1? So where does cosine actually equal -1? If you look on your sheets, you have the unit circle now, and there are points here, which I've drawn this several times, with like 1, 0, this is 0, 1, this is -1, 0, and this is 0, -1. Does cosine go with the x or the y of each one of these points? Actually, if you look on your sheet, somewhere on the other page, I believe it tells you it goes with the x.
Right here.
So cosine goes with the x value. Here's where x is -1. So this happens at pi. Okay, but now we're looking specifically at the fact that 3x has to equal pi. And if I divide here by 3, x is going to equal pi over 3. Okay, now cosine has a period of what? What's the period for cosine?
2 pi over something.
Well, it's 2, and we're going to put the n pi in there so that we're getting full multiples of the circle. But since this pi is over 3, what does this have to be over? 3. So this is my full solution for this. X such that x equals pi over 3 plus 2n pi over 3. Then they want to know specifically over the interval of 0 to 2 pi, but it can't include 2 pi. If you look, they tell you to try -1, 1, or 0, 1, and 2 for n. So you're going to let n equal -1, 0, 1, and 2 and see what you come up with. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to have pi over 3 plus -2 pi over 3, which is -pi over 3. Is that in my interval from 0 to 2 pi? It's not, because -pi over 3 is less than 0. So this is not a specific solution. If I do pi over 3 plus 2 times 0 pi over 3, this gives me pi over 3 because this whole thing is going to go to 0. And pi over 3 is in that interval. So that means 0 is one of my solutions, and that solution is pi over 3. When I try pi over 3 plus 2 times 1 pi over 3, this gives me pi over 3 plus 2 pi over 3, which gives me 3 pi over 3, which equals pi. And pi is in that interval, so this works. And then if I check pi over 3 plus 2 times 2 pi over 3. This is going to become 5 pi over 3. Is 5 pi over 3 greater than 2 pi?
No.
No, so that's also in the interval. So your answers in this interval are pi over 3 pi and 5 pi over 3. And those are your specific answers for the interval 0 to 2 pi. This is the generic answer that they want for part A.
How come cosine of alpha equals -1 equals pi?